Hi, my name's Mariana. I'm a district sales manager in San Antonio, Texas for Altman Plants. Today we're going to be covering the merchandising of the cactus succulent table. We'll go over pulling and recording the scrap, merchandising, baskets and end caps, labels and signage. Let's go over some of the terminology we use when addressing this table. Flats, 2.5 and 9 centimeter, mirroring, horizontal versus vertical, and the first 8 feet should be the best 8 feet. What is a flat? A flat is a plastic tray with inserts for each pot. What does flatted items mean to us? It means that not only are they shipped in flats, they are also displayed in the flats on our tables, as opposed to items that are in larger pots and displayed individually. A 2.5 is the smallest item we ship in flats. This holds 32 total units per flat. 9 centimeter is the next size up and has 18 total units per flat. All 2.5 and 9 centimeter items stay in their flats. Under the 2.5 size, we ship assorted succulents, grafted, deco, and mimicry. In the 9 centimeter size, we ship assorted succulents, grafted, deco, cosmic cactus, and aloe vera. Other items that would stay in their flats would be quart succulents and the 5-inch succulent cactus. Items that are not flatted would include a 7-inch jade, 8-inch cactus, 8-inch Bella Cachet, assorted dish gardens, and RTUs. Mirroring is a visual merchandising technique we use to attract customers to our tables. An example of this would be having the same amount of flats in a 2.5 succulent mix as you do of the 9 centimeter succulent mix, and merchandising them across from each other to the best of our ability. Let's touch on what direction we place the flats on the tables, horizontal or vertical. Horizontal runs left to right across the table, and vertical runs up and down the table. And we view this from the side of the table that the customer is shopping from. The first 8 feet should be the best 8 feet. What does that mean? The front 8 foot should be what pulls the customer to that table. It should be colorful, fresh, organized by size and variety, and mirrored to the best of our ability. If there's going to be any empty space, it should always be towards the back of the table. The first thing we want to do is pull our scrap, and also, as we're doing that, condense our flats. So now we're going to go over how to identify what needs to be scrapped. As succulents sit in the stores, they stretch upward in search of more light. The ideal height of a sellable succulent is no taller than the height of the pot that it's planted in. The photo on the left shows a succulent at an ideal height for the pot it's in. The photo on the right shows a succulent that is too tall and should be scrapped at the store. Succulents love to dry out between waterings. If they're kept too moist, they will rot. Signs of rot are when leaves get mushy and turn yellow or brown. Note that some sedum are supposed to be yellow. If the leaves are firm, they are not rotten. Rotting plants should be culled from the store displays immediately. Please don't wait until the whole plant is rotten. Once the plants start to rot, they will not regain their sellability. Sometimes succulents get dull and tired after sitting in the store for a period of time. These tired-looking plants should be scrapped. Displays full of nothing but dull, old succulents slow sales dramatically. If the mix is all greenish blue and gray because all of the colorful product has been picked through, we should scrap the dull product as fresh product arrives. Dish gardens are great impulse buys and gift ideas. They don't sell when there's a dead succulent in the mix. In the photo up top, you can see that the succulent in the front left corner has died out. This dish garden should be scrapped, even though the rest of the plant are still healthy. Of the two dish gardens on the bottom, the one on the left is stretched and has lost a succulent in the front right corner. It should be scrapped. The one on the right is what we want. Old faded straw flower slow sales. If the straw flower on top loses its color or turns brown, the plant needs to get scrapped. Even if the cactus is still fine, the condition of the straw flower determines whether or not we leave it in the display. The straw flower cactus on the left is old and needs to be dumped. The straw flowers on the right are what we want on our displays. This only applies to actual straw flower, not the deco flower that we've been slowly transitioning into. After pulling all scrap, record it. Remember, this process needs to happen at each store visit. Okay, so now that we've gone through, identified what needed to be scrapped, and entered that into our scrap on our Evolution Mobile, that's done and out of the way. Very important. Um, as you can see from the table, I have like items mirrored. So the 2.5s are always across from the 9 centimeter. We start this colorful section of the table with our grafted. We don't have the exact amount of product, but as you can see from the display, very attractive, colorful, and mirrored to the best of our ability. So a little more detail on the merchandising of the cactus succulent table. The front 8 feet is always the best 8 feet. A commonly asked question is how to know when to turn the flats horizontal as opposed to vertical. This happens depending on the seasonality of the product flow. We're always going to try to mirror our 2.5 with our 9 centimeter. We're going to keep it as organized as possible and colorful behind the succulents. So keeping our 2.5 and our 9 centimeter cactus and succulent on the front 8 foot of the table makes very attractive introduction into the table. Not all stores' planograms are going to be the same. Some stores have separated 8 foot tables. In a case like that, one of those tables would be all of your 2.5 and 9 centimeter cactus and succulents, or as much as possible that can get onto that table. Okay, so another small detail on the table that makes a huge difference is making sure that we have our labels in front of the flats. It has the price on the label. Um, why do we focus on always making sure the aloe vera label is faced? It's the only item on this table where each pot in the flat has an insert. It is also, it pulls the customer in and is very attractive. And it is also a medicinal plant, so it does sell well, especially in South Texas. So behind that front 8 foot, we've also found it more attractive if we keep our flatted items on the same side of the table. So we would have our quartz, our 5 inch, etc. Keeping like items together and always trying to stay low to high. And keeping like items together on the other side of the table, we would have our smaller dish gardens. We could have our jade, any barrels, cachets, and succulent bowls, and staying low to high to the best of our ability. So last but not least, I would like to remind everybody to remember to look up, check your hanging baskets, make sure they're still retail grade and don't need to be scrapped. We often forget to look up. Also, keeping them organized by size, like items together. On our end caps, we like to keep them the larger succulent bowls if you have them, and all one price point slash SKU if possible. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy merchandising.